Don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our 2 newly released books, Football: A Love Story and What Did Football Teach Me? These books feature over 100 stories from current and former coaches, players, executives, and entertainers from across the football landscape, describing what got them involved in the game, what they love about it, and what life lessons the game taught them. You can find your copy or order your copy from our website at footballgameplan.com/books. Before we get to the report, if you like our style of video and analysis, feel free to show support for Football Game Plan by dropping by our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan and leaving a little something in the tip jar. Every little bit helps us as we continue to improve the quality of our videos and the coverage we enjoy bringing you guys each and every time we put out a project. Thank you again for your support. Shawn Price out of South Florida at 6'3", 250 leads off our list for the top H-back prospects in this year's draft class. I had the chance to see him live this year versus Maryland. He's a strong, compact build type of an athlete. He's a fluid athlete and a good route runner with very soft hands. I also believe he gets good movement up front, both inline and also as a flex player. Now, he has decent speed. He's not overly sudden, and I think he can have those concentration lapses at times during the game. I'm talking about from a blocking, routes, and a catching perspective, but good overall player, graded out as a third-round prospect, and in my opinion, plays a lot like Charles Clay. Next up is Nick Vannett out of Ohio State, who had a really good week of practice at the Senior Bowl this year. I think he position blocks very well. He's a functional inline blocker. I think he also executes those wham and trap blocks perfectly. He's solid as a receiver as well, but he's not overly explosive. He's not a powerful inline blocker. I think he makes good contact, but doesn't move his feet and struggles to move the defender as a result. Now, his routes are also just okay, so I think he has a little bit of areas in which he can clean up his game. But again, just from a functional standpoint, he's a very solid H-back prospect. Thomas Duarte out of UCLA at 6'3", 225 is a guy that plays a lot like Josh Hill, formerly of the New Orleans Saints. He's an early entry in this year's draft class. He has those natural receiving skills that you want at the H-back spot, partly because he was a receiver at UCLA. I think he'll transition into a quality H-back as a pro. He's comfortable catching the football away from his body and has a good frame to bang inside versus linebackers, but he plays at that one speed, and I think that one speed is just okay, so to speak, and he still has that receiver's mindset when it comes to blocking. That's something that's going to have to change as he makes a jump. And will he have some issues separating deep down the field? I don't think he has that speed to threaten deep down the middle of the field, so I think he's more of a short to intermediate type threat, but again, solid overall prospect that's going to have to make that transition to an H-back. The Ivy League's Ben Broniker out of Harvard has good initial pop on his blocks, both inline and also as an H-back. I think he has good enough skills as a route runner. He can get open and above average hands. Now, he's a build-up speed type of a guy. I think he's better as a blocker versus outside linebackers, not defensive ends. And he has marginal run after the catch ability. So I think he's more along the lines of a catch and stop type of a receiver, but good enough in the blocking department to where he grades out as a 5th-round prospect. David Morgan out of Texas San Antonio, I thought had an excellent week of practice at the East-West Shrine game this year. He has really good physicality in the run blocking department. Also shows the ability to out-muscle defenders for the football in the passing game. I think he's really good inline and also on the move, but I don't think he has that burst and explosiveness to really threaten deep down the field. He's just an okay route runner and has marginal quickness, but again, in the short to intermediate area, as a guy that you can have on the field in the run blocking department, he was able to seal the edge consistently down at the East-West Shrine game and also on film. So I really like what he brings to the table and reminds me a lot of Rhett Ellison, who plays for the Minnesota Vikings. I believe Jake McGee out of Florida is a very underrated prospect in this year's draft class. He's a good all-around receiver that's willing to sacrifice for passes, solid blocking technique as well. And I think he has that upside potential at the position, but he has to add strength, both upper body and lower body strength, and he has that extensive injury history, and he's also a little stiff athletically, which I think hinders his route running ability. But overall, solid skill set. Like I said, good receiver that plays a lot like John Phillips. David Greenwich out of North Carolina State at 6'5", 248, I think had a very productive career for the Wolfpack. He has good hands. He adjusts well to the football. And for a guy that's 6'5", he definitely plays with great length. Now, he struggles to get good knee bend in the run blocking department. I think he's better coming off the move. That's an area where he's going to have to improve his game as he makes a jump forward. But his game, both as a receiver and also as a blocker, reminds me a lot of Xavier Grimble and what he brought to the table coming out of USC. But I do think Greenwich is a very underrated and solid prospect in this year's draft class. Darian Griswold out of Arkansas State had a solid week down at the East-West Shrine game, solid enough to where he got the call up to the Senior Bowl. He has good hands. He has good pop-up on contact with his blocks. He really doesn't shy away from contact both as a receiver and also in the run blocking department. And I also believe he shows good acceleration out of his breaks, but his run blocking as a whole needs a little bit more work from a technical standpoint. I also think he plays a little high. He's not as sudden of a player, so I think that could affect him in a short passing game. I think intermediate to deep, where he has the opportunity to build up that speed and accelerate into his breaks and out of his breaks, is where he has a lot of his success. But the short routes, because he's not sudden, I don't think he does a great job in that capacity. But overall, his game does remind me a lot of Gary Barnidge, who now plays for the Cleveland Browns. Jordan Payne out of Alcorn State at 6'2", 230 had a very productive career for the Braves, and here's a guy that has really good hands, above average football IQ, especially against zone coverage. I think he does an outstanding job in that aspect of his game. He has solid run after the catch skills, but he's not overly explosive. I think his blocking technique as a whole needs a ton of work, but as a fullback, H-back type, I think he definitely has a place as a pro. Andrew Wasaki out of Stevenson rounds out our list for the top H-back prospects in this year's draft class. At 6'2", 230, Wasaki participated in the Baltimore Regional Combine. He performed well there in the pass-catching drills. You also look at him on film. He has soft hands. I think he's a very fluid mover and also is very good in the blocking department when his feet are moving, but I don't think he's as explosive in that area. You want to see him fire off the football, fire those hips into the defender to really get them off the spot from a base perspective, and also run after the catch. You want to see him be a little bit more sudden, a little bit more explosive when he catches the football. But overall, solid skill set. He's another one of these guys that could function as also a fullback at the next level.